coral reefs dying? Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, are among the most vibrant and essential ecosystems on Earth. They cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support more than 25% of all marine species. However, these critical ecosystems are under severe threat, with many coral reefs dying at alarming rates worldwide. But why is this happening? Here's a deep dive into the causes behind the decline of coral reefs and the impact it has on our planet. What are coral reefs? Coral reefs are underwater structures made from calcium carbonate, secreted by tiny marine animals called coral polyps. These reefs are home to an incredible diversity of life, including fish, crustaceans, mollusks, and other marine organisms. Coral reefs thrive in warm, shallow, and nutrient-rich waters and have symbiotic relationships with microscopic algae called zooxanthellae, which live within the coral's tissues. These algae provide corals with energy through photosynthesis and give them their beautiful colors. Why are coral reefs important? Biodiversity. Coral reefs are vital habitats for marine life. Coastal protection. They act as natural barriers protecting shorelines from erosion and storms. Food source. Reefs support fisheries that provide food for millions of people. Economic value. Coral reefs contribute billions of dollars to the global economy through tourism and fishing industries. Medicinal potential. Many medicines are derived from reef organisms. Why are coral reefs dying? The death of coral reefs is primarily caused by human activities and environmental changes. Below are the key reasons. 1. Coral bleaching. Coral bleaching occurs when corals expel the algae, zooxanthellae, living in their tissues, turning them white and depriving them of energy. Bleaching is primarily triggered by rising sea temperatures. Even a small increase in water temperature can stress corals. El Niño events. These periodic climate patterns warm ocean waters and exacerbate bleaching. Without the algae, corals can starve and die if the stressful conditions persist. Two, ocean acidification. Cause, the ocean absorbs large amounts of carbon dioxide, CO2, from the atmosphere, which reacts with seawater to form carbonic acid. Impact, acidic waters dissolve the calcium carbonate that corals need to build their skeletons, weakening them and slowing reef growth. 3. Pollution from human activities severely damages coral reefs. Agricultural runoff. Fertilizers and pesticides wash into the ocean, causing algal blooms that block sunlight and reduce oxygen levels. Plastic waste. Microplastics can physically damage corals and block their feeding mechanisms. Sewage and industrial waste. These introduce harmful chemicals and bacteria into reef ecosystems. Four, overfishing. Overfishing disrupts the delicate balance of reef ecosystems. Removing key species like herbivorous fish allows algae to overgrow and smother corals. The use of destructive fishing practices like dynamite fishing physically destroys reef structures. 5. Coastal development construction projects along coastlines, such as resorts and ports, damage coral reefs through sedimentation. Excess sediment from construction smothers reefs, blocking sunlight and hindering photosynthesis. Habitat destruction. Mangroves and seagrass beds, which support reef health, are often removed for development. 6. Climate change. Climate change exacerbates all other threats to coral reefs. Rising sea levels. Increased water depth reduces sunlight reaching corals. Frequent storms. Stronger and more frequent hurricanes and cyclones physically damage reefs. 7. Coral diseases. Corals are increasingly affected by diseases, often linked to warming waters and pollution. These diseases weaken coral tissues and make them more susceptible to death. What happens if coral reefs die? The loss of coral reefs would have devastating consequences. Loss of marine life. Thousands of species that rely on coral reefs for food and shelter would face extinction. Economic impacts. Coastal communities that depend on reefs for fishing and tourism would lose their livelihoods. Weakened coastal defenses. Without reefs, shorelines would be more vulnerable to storms and erosion. Global food insecurity. Coral reef fisheries support millions of people worldwide. Loss of medicinal resources. Many potential medical breakthroughs could be lost. Can coral reefs be saved? Efforts to save coral reefs focus on addressing the root causes of their decline. 1. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Combating climate change is crucial to reducing ocean warming and acidification. 2. Establish marine protected areas, MPAs. Creating MPAs restricts human activities in sensitive reef areas, giving corals a chance to recover. 3. Sustainable fishing practices. Banning destructive fishing methods and promoting sustainable practices helps maintain reef health. 4. Pollution control. Reducing agricultural runoff, plastic waste, and industrial pollution is essential to protecting reefs. 5. Coral restoration projects. Scientists are working to restore reefs through techniques like coral gardening and breeding heat-resistant coral species. Conclusion. Coral reefs are dying due to a combination of human-induced and environmental factors, with climate change, pollution, and overfishing being the primary culprits. Their loss would have profound ecological, economic, and social consequences. However, with global cooperation and sustainable practices, it is possible to protect and restore these vital ecosystems for future generations. The time to act is now, as the survival of coral reefs and the countless species that depend on them hangs in the balance.